Greetings, citizens, and welcome back to the Hidden Dagger Inn. My name is Peon, and today we're going to be discussing, is Ashes of Creation too PvP-centric for PvE players to enjoy it? So without further ado, let's begin.
Ready to work.
Before diving into this conversation, I want to say that I genuinely hope this game can cater to everyone. I envision a world where PvE players and PvP players can find common ground, build relationships, and form communities in their nodes to create one great world of Era. That being said, we all know the saying, you can't please everyone. And this holds true. While the game is PvX, it definitely leans more towards a PvP playstyle. The PvE activities are going to include dungeons and exploration, crafting, but nearly all of these can be influenced by PvP in some way, shape, or form, even within the nodes themselves. So my question to viewers is, how much disruption are you willing to put up with? I've played a fair amount of survival games like Rust and Conan and a lot of hardcore MMOs like Albion Online and Mortal Online 2, Ultima Online back in the Fallujah days. In those games, when you died, you lose everything. And when you lose your shit, you lose your shit. Well, in those games, you learn to overcome it. People will eventually walk away if they get tired of replacing things and have to rebuild and starting from scratch time and time again. In Ashes of Creation, Steven has taken a much lighter approach regarding the harshness of dying in PvP, which I believe is a smart move. It's enough to incentivize PvP without being too harsh on the community. The death penalties involve losing a small percentage of your gatherable and or raw materials, while your gear and processed goods are still going to remain intact unless you're corrupted. I truly believe this system is very well thought out. Considering the previously mentioned games, it's more of a slap on the wrist when you die. Granted, still you have your experience loss and your stat dampening, along with some durability loss, but you don't lose any gold or silver, anything that's irreplaceable, unless you've lost that really great harvestable you just got in a dungeon. Well, then you're shit out of luck. Some PvE players have been disgruntled that PvP events like arenas and caravans, players aren't going to lose experience. So why should they lose experience when fighting a boss mob in a dungeon, especially when they might have to fight players as well? It's a fair argument, and this is a concession I could live with, as long as they don't die to trash mobs on the way to the boss. If they did, it's likely because they pulled too many, or the healer went AFK to get a sandwich. In that case, they deserve to die and they deserve the loss. For boss fights, it has been suggested that a door be closed, allowing for a more engaging fight. This would allow Intrepid to dig deep into boss mechanics, making it more intriguing for PvE players. Not only that, but if another group arrives and sees a door closed, this could lead to an interesting situation where they might have an angry mob waiting outside to relieve them of their newfound goods. This adds another layer to the scenario. And you can't recall to Ironforge or have a warlock summon you somewhere safe. You might have to fight your way out, which sounds like a thrilling adrenaline-filled experience. Another concern I think PvE players might have is their safety inside of a node, and the idea of making nodes a safe zone for PvE players. This wouldn't apply to any node, but your home node, which is, may say, a village state or higher. Guards would protect you if you were a citizen. Any other node that you would be fair game, meaning that you would need to be cautious when stepping away from your computer. As I understand it right now, you can be attacked anywhere in the node. So if you're a crafter and you're going to, say, a high-level academic node to bring your raw materials to craft something, you're going to have to keep your head on a swivel because you could lose those materials to, say, a rogue that's hiding in the background waiting for you to be distracted by the crafting table. In games like Arcade, which we all know is a heavy influence for Steven, killing players at certain times you could earn honor points. At other times it was just for shits and giggles. The guards in Ashes of Creation are not going to be as strong as one-shot mechanic guards from previous games. And they can be killed, which could lead to Zergs rolling through a node and decimating everything in their path. With camouflage and stealth mechanics, evading guards while corrupted might be too difficult unless they can see through stealth. Mayors will have the option to upgrade the guard, and I'd like to see some kind of stealth mechanic with that enhanced security, providing an option for players who prefer a more safer node. This is something I expect to receive a lot of attention in Alpha 2. We'll see just how disruptive players can be in the nodes and whether you're going to feel like you need to log out and then hoping there's not a queue in order to re-enter the game. Let me know in the comments below if you think nodes are okay the way they are now, and that's without testing them, or if you would prefer a node to be a safer place. We all know the rest of the Vera is going to keep you on your toes when you're outside in the open world. I also hope that world bosses have like a 3 to 7 day random spawn timer on them and a random spawn location. Otherwise, players are just going to park in all of the known locations. I'm hoping for a truly random experience where Tumak just appears out of nowhere and gives some unsuspecting player something that he wasn't looking for, and that's how the word gets spread to the node that he's up. In Ashes of Creation, it's going to be imperative for guilds to work together. If you're a PvE guild that doesn't enjoy PvP, the other guilds are going to notice. Depending on how difficult it is to declare war on another guild, this could frustrate many PvE guilds. My suggestion is to have a nice mix of PvE and PvP players in your guild, so you have protection while you're in that dungeon. Teamwork makes the dream work. When Alpha 2 launches, players are going to test the limits of how dastardly they can be because they know there's no long-lasting repercussions since the game's going to wipe before launch. Players will be able to test the corruption system, and hopefully they will, to try to find ways around it. So expect it to be more volatile at first. I believe Steven will adjust the system until it achieves his desired effect. And in the long run, I don't think corruption will be an issue. However, it is going to be interesting to see how PvE players adapt to normal PvP interactions, such as being at war with another node or a guild, and encountering them in PvE areas and or world bosses. In conclusion, Ashes of Creation's PvX model has the potential to be a rich, immersive world where both PvE and PvP players can thrive and coexist. However, careful consideration and balance are essential to ensure that the game does not overly favor the PvP playstyle or PvE and at the expense of others by making thoughtful concessions and fostering a game environment that values both PvP and PvE contributions. Ashes of Creation can achieve its vision of a truly dynamic and inclusive MMORPG if it can pull that off. And as always, if you're still watching, I want to say thank you. And if you're not too busy, smash that like and subscribe button and help me out. Don't forget to catch me live on Twitch every Wednesday and Saturday, and soon much more when we get into Alpha 2. If you're looking for a place to hang out, come visit me in the Hidden Dagger Inn Discord. I'll leave the link below. And if you need a good guild, I highly recommend checking out Overlord. They've been great to me so far, and they're extremely organized. Thank you, Vera, and have a great day.
Work complete.